Hey, now it's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM alongside my broadcast colleague.
Hey, what's going on? Eric Cornish with WKDQ. Welcome to Monday and another edition of the Enhancement Talent as we await. Hopefully the Raw is getting better and better. We can at least hope, right?
At least 1 week I thought was good and I thought uplifting booking, some things to look forward to, I feel like. There's a lot of weeks where there's a lot to talk about, and then there's weeks like this where there isn't really a whole lot jumping out at us.
But we didn't have a lot to complain about either. The only main thing that I think stood out to both of us is that there were 3 Divas matches.
That was a lot.
That is a lot, but
they weren't bad.
No, they all had something to offer. So we'll see. And of course, Dean Ambrose was just the star of the show.
That's the only thing I'm interested in seeing. That, and I hear that Kathy Lee and Hoda may be involved in Raw tonight. I don't know why, but I'm vaguely interested in that.
And here's the only problem I have with that. For years, Regis was a huge fan of wrestling, still is. Huge fan of wrestling, was always involved. And then anytime that back when Regis and Kathy Lee were together and they would have a wrestler on the show, it always seemed like Kathy Lee was just the one who was just so didn't care, and she wasn't excited, and she would always kind of tongue-in-cheek, just kind of make fun of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works tonight for the...
I never got into shows like Regis or Kathy and Hoda or whatever the deal is now, but I'm curious as to what they wind up doing with stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. Some other things that we just wanted to cover before I get into my crazy off-the-wall booking idea for the WWE that will never happen, because you know how my mind works. First of all, let's just see what you think about a couple of these issues that are out right now. First of all, Rey Mysterio, apparently backstage at the tapings for Lucha Underground.
Isn't he always involved in some sort of Lucha Libre? Like he's either making videos for companies or...
And he's still under contract for the WWE.
He seems to want nothing to do with WWE. And I can kind of sympathize with Rey here because this is a guy... I mean, on one hand, the company looks at him like he's injury prone, and the second hand is he wants to work, and he wants to work in a big way.
Yeah.
So he's like, I got to figure something out. So I can understand what he's going through.
He's nearing the end of the career for sure. I just think, for Ray to do what he can to get out there in other companies, I think he's trying to gain leverage or trying to get fired. I don't know, but it's probably better for him at this stage in the game. It's just a shame considering he's definitely a Hall of Famer. For WWE, it's just a shame that it's kind of gone downhill toward the end of the career here.
According to the Countdown show on the network, he is the #1 greatest high flyer of all time. Agree or disagree?
I would tend to agree. I mean, I might put Rob Van Dam up there, I think, but Rey Mysterio is a little more controlled.
Yeah, I would put Rey Mysterio above Rob Van Dam, and I'll at least say I don't have a problem with him being called #1.
Right, and I think maybe even Eddie Guerrero on that list, just because Eddie Guerrero could do it all. It depends on how you're classifying somebody between a high flyer and a great worker who can high fly. And I think with Seth Rollins being on that list, that's kind of how I felt.
I felt like that was way
out of
bad
place.
placement. But
no Kofi Kingston,
But I think the problem is that I think it's voted on.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's probably the problem there.
And then another thing, how about Stone Cold Steve Austin? It appears more and more that he is trying to train for a comeback. And he even made that actual phrase. He said, training for a comeback.
Well, I think that you should always take things like that with a grain of salt. I think that he does have at least one more match left in him, and I think it will probably be okay.
If we are talking about WrestleMania, of course, we've already talked about WrestleMania and all the potential comebacks and the Undertakers and the Stings and the Kurt Angles that might be involved in that, and the Rocks and the Brock Lesnars and all these part-timers and Triple H. Does Stone Cold have a role and a significant role if he does come back, and who would he face?
I think the obvious answer, at least one that people have been talking about, is somebody like CM Punk.
And then you got another person who needs to come back into the fold.
And then you got that too, but
no main roster guys on this WrestleMania, folks.
Let me ask you this though: I bet you if CM Punk gets the call, even if it is from Triple H, hey, we got Austin on deck for you for 31. You want to be there? I bet you he says yes.
I would think so.
So maybe if it's just for one match, so who knows? Somebody like Dean Ambrose isn't a bad choice.
True.
There is an awful lot that you can do with somebody like Austin. Even this late in his career, he still stays relevant. He's in the limelight, and also he has good matches. All right, now you've been telling me all day you've got something cooked up in your brain that you're pretty proud of.
Well, you know, my brain, and trust me, this is nothing new. I've been doing this since I was about 10 years old. In my mind, going, well, what if they did this? What if they did this? And I've always had that Booker mentality for whatever reason.
I expect that too, but my ideas were always like, wouldn't it be cool if they had a match like in my school,
Yeah.
like in the cafeteria,
Right,
You know,
right.
but what have you got going
So
on?
okay, so here's my booking idea. I was thinking of things, you know, besides Dean Ambrose and his rise to popularity. I was watching some of the, you know, some of the countdown shows and some of the Monday Night Wars, and going, okay, what was big? And it was like, you know, they don't have a lot of factions. And then I got to thinking about factions, and then I got to thinking about what faction could you put together to really make it a good one. So here, okay, this is way out there. But there's a bunch of guys on the shelf right now, or not being used, that could come back and form a faction.
Okay.
But let me just throw out these names, and you'll see where I'm going with this. Okay, here's the guys I'm thinking. First of all, most notably Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Here's another guy that's been on the shelf for a little while. Bad News Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Those guys are hurt.
Here's somebody else that's hurting on the shelf. Ryback. Here's somebody else we haven't seen in a little while. Curtis Axel.
Okay.
Here's somebody else we haven't seen in a while. Darren Young. He's hurt.
I think I see where you're going now.
Okay, now again, off the wall booking, completely never gonna happen. But what if the Authority continues to pick up steam,
Okay.
and to fend off the Authority, the Nexus returns as a babyface stable to confront the Authority. Now,
That will never happen.
it won't ever happen. But I just started thinking about all these guys that are out there are not being used, and even Justin Gabriel's not being used right now. And the only one really out of all those that is Heath Slater and Bray Wyatt. But Bray Wyatt, you know, obviously would never be in that group. You know, he's got his own thing going on. But like, all of those guys could be thrown back together to make the group that they founded, the Nexus.
That is.
Again, it's a crazy booking idea that will never happen. But hey, that's how my mind works sometimes. Going, look at all these guys. You need to find a way to bring them back. How are you going to do that? They were all in the Nexus.
All at once. Just give them that yellow and black armband.
And as a babyface stable to confront the Authority. There is my crazy booking idea that will never happen. We might have to do more of these down the road.
You heard it here first. The crazy booking ideas.
And the internet's going to blow up tomorrow with everybody going, that's what's going to happen. But
Well,
hey.
okay, that is something to chew on for a little bit. Do you have any crazy booking ideas? You can let us know. You can email us. Our addresses are at the bottom. We encourage you to subscribe to our videos as well. Just click the subscribe button and you'll get these before everybody else does. Thank you for watching. For myself.
Hey, and Eric Cornish, let us know what you think. Subscribe, and we'll see you later on in the week.